And so, no. So, I've loved you for a long time. You've been my best friend for 10 years, clearly today. And we've been together for too long. To be honest, lots of people's marriages are, like, we're already at halfway point of most people's marriages. You're my best friend. We grew up together. We've had such a good life together. You're the most caring, most amazing person, And the reason I fell in love with you, as I say to you every time, is there's no one I know that cares about people as much as you. No one, not a single person. You're so empathetic to every single person you know in your life. You're empathetic to every person you don't even know in your life. And it's insane to think someone like that can show so much love for other people. And I really want to keep that with me forever. I get that love for myself, obviously selfishly, as I am, but also to hopefully give it to other people in the future. And I don't think there's any better way to say this than, Nicola, you marry me, please.
Let me think about it. Yes.
Why are you shaking?
Yes. Oh, that's so
As you never listened to this, when I saw it already, did you have an idea what to do?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah, because I was like, what
Well.
Welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed that little intro there.
Yeah, a little different.
Yeah, so there's actually meant to be a different episode coming out today, but obviously, Nicola was like, no.
Let's break the news.
Let's break the news to the podcast. Like, by the time this is out, the photos will also be on Instagram, actually, probably already.
Yeah.
So whatever Mademoiselle herself, wants to put on as the timing, like, or whether it's before or on the exact same time, who knows, whatever. But so because we were meant to have a different episode. It was meant to be something else that you guys
You'll
probably
see that next week,
either next week
or
maybe the week after, because we still have to do an episode in Japan.
Yeah,
obviously. Like we might talk about a little bit, like, as I'm explaining things, we might talk about that in this episode, but obviously we'll do a full-blown, like, is the place worth the hype?
We need to, because so many people, like, obviously, if you've been on Instagram, and if you haven't, where have you been? You have known that we've been to Japan. Like, I've posted so much stuff on my personal account, so then I, like, reposted it on TAE Time. And I know, some people might care, some people might not care, but we did so much stuff, and I think we need to have an episode
literally
that's, like, in depth.
I didn't even post that much, and I just posted here and there, and people were like, damn, like, did you move there there permanently, like, or you like they're like you're there for so long. I was like, yeah,
you stayed so long.
You know, like,
we didn't stay enough.
Yeah, we were there for a while, and we just did a bit. So, but it was really enjoyable. But obviously, like after the intro, I'm sure you guys are all like
dying
just
to know.
They're like, get into it. Forget about. We don't give a shit about your Japan trip. Get into it. But yeah,
we got engaged. I'm wearing my ring, so now I don't have to hide it anymore. I've been like, you know, after
hide it. Why did you have to hide it? What happened there, huh?
So, while we were there on the 6th of June, it's our anniversary. It was our 10-year anniversary, and Farouk had, you know, something really nice planned that he's going to talk about in a little bit. And after that, you know, I wanted to post about it, but what I didn't know was that he got a photographer. He photographed and
he videographed. He did the videography and the photography.
Yes.
Obviously, I'll talk about the company that helped me, but shout out to Japan and Waits. They did a great job, and I'll talk more about it later. But no, so
then like obviously I wanted to post about it, but I was like, okay, I'll wait until
because this girl was like, oh yeah, we have to take photos, and I want to post it, and I was just like, because I didn't want to tell her, because I was like, oh my god, like I'm like, maybe you don't need to post it on the day.
He was so like pushy on, maybe you don't have to do a post today. And I'm like, bro,
she's
I post it every day.
Yeah, she's like, I post it every day, and I'm definitely posting today. I'm like, maybe you don't have to post this one today, you know? Because and then I was just like, yeah, because like maybe there's someone that's going to record it or take photos.
And then I was like, oh.
So
we have a photographer.
Yeah, so I know we and Yosuke, he did that. It was great work. But so like I guess you're all probably wondering like, oh, how was the whole thing?
Proposal.
I guess like we'll talk about the proposal first, and then I can talk about the planning it. I think it's good to get an idea. Like you guys already saw the proposal, but how was the proposal for you? Because I was one that did the proposing. She got proposed too, so she like I already knew what it was gonna be, you know. Like, but how about it for you? How was the feeling? Or
oh my god, it was such an emotional experience. It really was, because Farouk had planned this for months, which is I didn't know. And he had it all like down to a T, even like the person that he's asking, where's the rose garden, you know, that we're going to. He had it all planned. But for me, it was just like, okay, I don't know at what point today it's going to happen. I knew it was going to be that day because it was our anniversary, but I just didn't know when. So he's like, okay, get pretty and let's go. And he kept telling me that it was like, oh, after 3. And I was like, okay, it's definitely happening before 3, because otherwise he wouldn't be saying this.
Well, to be fair, because Nicoletta was like, oh my God, like, I don't know, whatever. And I was like, relax, because she was stressed. Nicoletta was very stressed. Like, I was not even nervous.
But not stressed. I was nervous.
Yeah,
I was really nervous.
I guess stress is the wrong word, nervous. Like, I was the person proposing, and I wasn't even nervous. Like she was nervous all morning. She's like, oh my God. Today. I'm like, relax. I was trying to get her to calm down. So I was like, oh, let me tell her that, just relax. Nothing's happening until after 3. Like, that was my goal, to be like, oh, okay, maybe she'll just relax then, you know. But she was like, oh, but I guess because I said that, she was like, something's happening before 3.
Obviously.
Before 3. I should have said like, okay, don't worry, it's happening this morning. But then would you have even believed it was be in the afternoon? If I said it's happening straight away in the morning, would you then believe it would be in the afternoon?
Yeah, probably.
I should have said that. I should have done reverse psychology.
I'd be like, okay, later.
Oh, you guys now know that. Like, next time if you want to propose to your girlfriend or you want to propose to your man's or whatever, just be like, hey, it's going to happen opposite time of when.
I mean, usually people don't tell each other though.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah,
people don't usually know on the day.
Yeah.
But I knew like the whole picking out the ring, we did that together. It was such a nice bonding experience together. So we've had this for months now. And we got the ring in March. Yeah. We went together. I picked out, like, I put bits and pieces together, and I'm really, really happy with it. So I was like, if I'm wearing this forever, let me choose it.
Yeah.
And on the day, then you were like, oh, we're gonna go to like a pretty garden and then whatever. And I was like, okay, like, are we going there?
And a pirate ship.
Pirate ship.
Remember the pirate ship?
He kept insisting he's gonna propose on a pirate ship, and he brought up so much that at one point I was like, is he actually just asking for reassurance?
I was trying to make it seem like, oh my God, like, are you okay with me proposing with you on a pirate ship? Because the first day we got there, I showed her the pirate ship when we on a gondola. I actually
wanted to cry.
And I showed her the pirate ship, and then so we were in a cafe right before, like, I was stalling time, and you can see the lake, you know, in the cafe, and she was like, oh, there's no way we're getting. She in her brain was like, oh, there's no way I'm getting proposed to on the pirate ship, because the pirate ship is nowhere near here. It's like super, like, because the pirate ship was near where we were in our ryokan. but not knowing that the pirate ship also has a bay near where we were. And so she's like, oh my God.
So he was actually dead at. Especially when he was like, okay, we're going to go to a pretty garden. We're going to do this. And then we're going to go to a pirate ship. And I'm like, oh my God, no, we're not. Like, no, we're not. Because I was very persistent on, I don't want people around. I want it to be like our moment.
Private, intimate moment.
Yeah. Like in my head, I was like, he's going to decorate the balcony where we're at, or like some balcony and make it like pretty and like romantic. But it was actually.
But there was no balcony inside our freaking ryokan. So she was like, what the hell? Where is it going to be?
I don't know. Maybe it was going to be where the onsen was or something, you know? I was like, okay, maybe it's there. But he did so much better. He did like 100 times better. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He did so good. Like when he said the rose garden thing, and then this guy like escorted us because we went to like a hotel.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually the cafe first. He kept pretending he was going to propose in the cafe.
Yes. I was like pretending to like stand up and be like, oh, Nicoletta, like give me your hand. And she's like,
don't touch me.
She's like, don't touch me. Nicoletta's like, imagine Ashley went to propose in a cafe. She was literally like, don't touch me. She's like, Farouk, stop, don't touch me.
If this was your plan, no, it isn't.
No, it's not.
Like,
just go think of a new thing right now. But so the way it worked is obviously we woke up in the morning. We were in a ryokan, so they gave us breakfast. You know,
which is like a traditional Japanese home.
Yeah, you know, like obviously these are things we'll touch on fully, like in our actual episode. And so in the morning we're chilling, having a good time, and like I had like planned obviously, and I had an itinerary time wise, so we took a taxi, but we left early. So I was like, okay, we're gonna leave it, we're gonna get there early. So I was like, there's a cafe. I was so lucky, there's a cafe, like a really nice cafe right in front of the hotel where the flower garden is located. So it's a hotel, the Yama, and it's like Yama's garden, like whatever. And so like it's located there, and I was like, okay, let's go there. So we went into the cafe. It was nice. It had a lovely view of the lake.
Do you know what the worst part was? I feel like everyone working there was on board, and I was like, oh my God, it is happening here, isn't it?
She's like, stop.
Stressing.
Stop. The one thing I asked for, he couldn't even do that.
Like,
she's like, I'm saying yes and giving him the ring back later.
Yeah, so he kept pretending, and I was like, stop it right now. And then when we left, I was like, okay, relieved.
Yeah. So now here's the thing, right? You saw it looked nice, you know, but we walking from the cafe to the hotel, it started pissing rain. Yeah. Like you can see at the start, like my jacket's a little bit wet because Nicoletta put on her head because it was raining. So I was like, oh my God. Because like, I don't think you guys understand. So we were going to Japan, right? And like before we're going, it was set because raining season in Japan is from about mid-June to the end of July, right? So we were going from end of May to mid-June. So I was like, we're avoiding raining season, absolutely. But the hurricane was coming around the time. Yeah, typhoon, was coming around the time, which then caused rain to start appearing in Japan earlier. So we were like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, no. So, but luckily when we got there, most days it actually wasn't raining. You know, it wasn't raining like literally the weather. So like, look at my heart racing up and down. Literally, so before we went, oh yes, no rain, just sun. And then it's like, rain every day you're in Japan. And I'm like, oh no. And then as we get closer, rain some days you're in Japan.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, rain most days you're in Japan. I'm like, no. And then it's like, rain some days you're in Japan.
I can imagine Farouk's mood going like, oh my God.
You know? And I just kept checking, because Hakone weather from the 5th to the 7th. How is it looking like? And it was saying it was going to piss and rain. So the entire time I'm like, oh my God, the whole time it's going to be pissing rain. Like we had a backup, obviously, for if it was raining, but I really wanted the main thing. So I was like, it's going to be piss rain. This is terrible. But then as we get closer, it's sunny. The first day in Hakone is absolutely stunning.
It was so
blue
warm
skies, super warm, everything. And then on the day, it's still cloudy, but fine. And then literally like a few minutes before I'm proposing, it starts pissing rain. I'm like, God hates me right now. So we walk to the hotel, and like, the manager of the hotel, was, because I booked the flower garden. So the manager of the hotel was outside, and that
was a manager? I thought some security guy. Like,
no, that was the manager of the hotel. And so I go to him and I'm like, hey, do you know where the flower garden is? And that's like the cue, because he already knows how we look like, and this he's like, oh, I'll take you, you know. And then he like takes us, and then it's pissing. It stops raining when it starts pissing rain, and I was like, yay! And it starts pissing rain again. It's like, no. So give some umbrellas. And like Nicola has an umbrella and I have an umbrella, and I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna have to use this umbrella in the freaking thing? Oh my god, it's gonna kill the vibe. Like it's not gonna look as pretty. And I shit you not. So it's like maybe like a 2-3 minute walk. It's a decent walk to the flower garden.
Yeah, because we're kind of like behind the hotel.
Yeah,
so
you know.
go through it.
And so we're walking in the rain, and then I shit you not, just as we're about to turn the corner to see that like beautiful scenery, it stops raining, and we give your man the umbrellas, and I'm already cheese. I'm like,
it's okay, walk faster before it starts again.
You know, I'm like, yes, it's not raining.
No.
And you know, and so like obviously Nicola sees the whole thing,
well,
blah de blah.
Like so like as we're walking, the manager, not the security guy, he says something in his earpiece, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he's like, you know, like.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is the location, like this is where it's happening, like this is very set up. And then from afar I saw this really pretty garden and there was no one there. I'm like, it's either because it's raining or this is the moment. And then we're walking, and you saw the little pretty walkway up, and from quite like, you know, about halfway there I saw my name.
Deep, Nicola is blind as a bat, so the fact that she could even see her name in that, it means that she was really hyper aware.
No, stop. I saw my name and I just started crying instantly. I was just like, oh my god, like I can't, like this is it. And it looked so beautiful and everything. And we got there, and you know, he goes down on one knee, and I'm like bawling, crying, and
she was holding it back though because she didn't want to ruin her makeup.
And then like out of like the corner of my eye I saw the photographer, and I was like, oh my god, okay, try to look pretty, but also like, you know, I'm bawling, crying. I don't really know how to make this aesthetic. And it was really, really sweet, and he asked me to marry you, and I said, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
I think.
Sure, the whole thing's in the video. So
I don't think we're going to leave the speech in.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No, I don't know.
Yes, we are.
Okay, fine.
I already said we're leaving the whole thing because it's part of the whole aesthetic. And I find it cringy that I had to show you guys a speech. But you know what? I don't care.
I
paid good money for it, and it was a sweet moment.
It was very sweet. It was very, very, very sweet.
And it was off the dome. Because I said that to her, I was like, I do not want to plan what I was going to say, because I was like, I've been with you for 10 years. Like, if I can't think from the heart, quote unquote, or off the dome at that time, then clearly I'm not.
Yeah, but like, you know, like there are people who you get there and you be like, oh, will he marry me?
Yeah, did you really love her then? you can't even think.
No, you just get nervous, you panic, and you're like, I don't know.
I'm joking. Yeah, no. Like, I guess it really helped that I wasn't nervous at all. Like, I was just like, oh,
you're a bit shaky.
No, you were shaking.
No, you're a bit shaking.
Obviously, I was a little bit like my voice. I heard in my voice. I was like,
it cracked.
It cracked a little bit, you know. But it is what it is. But
I thought it was so sweet, and then to even better, like we got the photographer for a whole hour all to ourselves. Initially, when he told me, I was like, "What are we gonna do? Like, where are we going?"
Oh no, we used like because he took us. So we took videos and photos in the garden, and then we went into like this room where they had like the traditional. What's it called? The dividers, you know, like, you know, curtains, the Japanese curtains, and like taking photos there. And then he took videos of us walking to different locations. We went to the Hakone Torii gate, you know, who knows, that's the one that's like on the water, you know. And then we also went around like the shrine at the Hakone Torii gate, and taking like photos and videos there. And then even by the vending machine by the port, like, oh my god, we went
everywhere.
It was so good, like, and it's great because then we got like so many photos and like
the footage came out so well.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Just putting it all together.
It was great. It was honestly great. So I was very, very happy with it. And you know, like, but how did you like when you got there and like think what was going through your head? Like, let them know what was your experience like throughout the moment you were proposed to and then afterwards.
I was cheesed. I was so cheesed. I was like, oh my god, I finally get to wear this ring that it's been in a box for months that Farouk hasn't even let me see.
I didn't let her.
Like, to the point that I was like, I don't even remember what it looks like. And I just felt so much happiness, and I was still a bit nervous, and like with I get a little bit awkward, like, you know, and I was like, oh my god, is this gonna look okay on camera? And then when he made us dance and stuff, and he was like, oh, do you like hip-hop music? I'm like, oh my god, what did he say? Do you like hip-hop music? I don't want to dance to hip-hop music right now. But he actually put on an Ed Sheeran song, so it was really cute, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I thought you did so good. At every point, even when we went to the Torii Gate, on our way there was a huge queue, and I was like, oh my god, maybe we can, go there as well and get some photos. And he was like, yeah, maybe we will, but not knowing that was going to be one of our locations.
Yeah.
And he had someone, like, there were like 3 people planning this, and someone was actually waiting in queue for us, so we didn't have to wait. And there's just so many like details that like you took care of and they took care of as well. So I was very happy.
Thank you.
And I know you asked me, do you feel different? Like, no, like our relationship is the same, but like obviously because I'm wearing the ring, it's like a constant reminder, so I guess.
So you didn't have a reminder before? You didn't have a reminder
that
before?
I'm your fiance?
That I was with you all the time?
Not really. Anyways, so yeah, that was me. And now tell us a little bit about all your planning.
Yeah, so the planning was long but very smooth due to the fact that, as I said, I use Japan weights. And this isn't sponsored or anything like this. They were just that good. Like, and I felt like I had to give them a special shout out. They did so well. It was amazing. So if you look at TripAdvisor, I put a review there as well, actually, for them, so you can read now. But yeah, no. So I reached out to them on the 13th of September, 2022. So like 9 months of planning, essentially. Essentially, what happened is I reached out to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'd be able to do that." They replied to me the next day, obviously, because they're in Japan time, and then we started kind of like talking initially, being like, "Okay, what would you want?" kind of thing, and they have like this form, but instead, what happened was, I had an initially what you're meant to do is like you're meant to have this form that they fill out, this like Excel sheet, and then you fill it out and then they start doing the calls. But because they were kind of a bit more quiet during that time and whatever, my point of contact was Vicky. So she works for the company, and she was amazing, absolutely professional, amazing, easy to work with. And so we had a Zoom call. So our first Zoom call was like, I think it was like 7 a.m. like in October, November, something like that. And Nicoletta, we were here in our place now, and then I just told Nicoletta like I had an early morning meeting, and so I just had that meeting.
I didn't question it once.
Because obviously, like, sometimes that happens or whatever. So I was like, I have an early morning meeting. So we have our initial call, and we're kind of saying like, okay. And I'm like, hey, I want to do it here. I think, because I kind of had an idea. I was like, I want to do it in Hakone, I'm pretty sure, but they're based in Tokyo. So they do everything in Tokyo. So like, I'm pretty sure I want to do it in Hakone. I have an idea. Like, I think it'd be nice to have like either a garden or like a view of Mount Fuji, something like that. Like, there was something in my head that I was like, something like that, I'd like to do whatever. And so they're like, oh yeah, cool. And so like they were kind of busy, so like I'd wait for them to respond to me, and it might be like maybe 3 weeks or whatever, because they're busy. And then come into like January time, everyone's going to Japan, so they're getting super busy. They even like changed their prices, but they're so good that they were like, oh, because you contacted us before our price change, we're going to honor the price and everything, and we're going to do all that. And they were like, that's why I can't talk about how amazing they were, like, to work with. Like Vicky especially, so smooth. Like, she would literally like have meetings with me when it's like, for her it was like maybe 8 or 9 or 10. I'm like, oh my god, I felt so bad, like to accommodate like the timing for me, and then or stuff like that. And I was just like doing that. And so then we had the first goal of the like Excel sheet of like, okay, let's not even think about the location. Let's think about how we're going to do it first, right? So initially there was an idea of actually doing it on the balcony, like a nice balcony with a view of Mount Fuji and stuff like that. And then like whatever, like, have the rose petals and the sign and whatever. And so the idea was like, okay, there's like, you have I want flowers, I want rose petals, I want this, I want that. I was like, Nicoletta, I was just like, what would Nicoletta like? This is what Nicoletta like. This is like her aesthetic, And then I was like, this is
it's not my usual aesthetic.
Yeah,
but I was like, you know what? It's my proposal. Like, make it my aesthetic.
Exactly. So I was like, this is whatever, that whole like, like all the stuff you see, like, like when you see all those like weddings proposals on TikTok or like thing, and they're all like so nice, like that. I was like, that's what I was trying to go for.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we did that, and then we kind of talked through like what kind of flowers I wanted to match the whatever, and all these things. So then they hadn't done any proposals in Hakone before then.
Okay.
But then I got lucky because they were so busy that they ended up doing 2 proposals in Hakone, like in like a weekend.
Wow.
So what they did is they then scouted for me like locations, and then this was leaning a little bit closer to the time, and they had a list of possible locations. The pirate ship was location because someone did get proposed to on the pirate ship, actually, for a matter of fact. But like it just wasn't my.
Did you ever actually consider it?
No, absolutely
instantly
not.
no.
Instantly
Okay.
no. I was like, this is not my aesthetic. And it was so cute because like Vicky was like, yeah, I don't think this is for you. And I was like, yeah, no, this is not for me. Like,
Take that off the list.
No shade, no foul to whoever proposed on the like pirate ship. I'm sure like maybe it was like a thing that you guys enjoy. But for me, it's just not my thing anyway. So I was like, no. And then there was also Hakone Park, which was one of the options, because at the very top it's like this really nice viewpoint, but I was like, it wouldn't be as private though, because there is
It's a park, like
it is a park, and lots of people would want to see that viewpoint, so it's possible. Like they were even still kind of be like, oh, like, you know, because they had 3 people on the day there, like the photographer and 2 other people helping them as well. Shout out, it was amazing. And like they were like, okay, we could maybe get, you know, 2 of them to stay down and, you know, just be like, hey guys, sorry, something's going on, and like whatever. And they even they're like, and I was like, yeah, no, I feel so bad, you know, like kind of putting people through that. I was like, and then they had the Hotel de Yama Garden, and I saw that, and it was like a photo of, it was actually someone doing their wedding.
It looks like a wedding venue. It definitely looks like a wedding venue.
Because if behind that like gazebo, like at the very back of it, there's a chapel. So that's when you, and the thing is, what I actually rented out was the chapel, but when you rent out the chapel, you get the gazebo too.
Right.
So when they showed me the photo of like, it's like a couple by the gazebo, like white dress and whatever, and the thing, I was like, this. Instantly, I was like, this place I wanted. And so, but then we didn't know. Like when I was talking to Vicky at the time, I was like, but I want the gazebo. I was like, because she was talking about like you can rent the chapel, and I was like, but do you know if we rent the chapel, we get the gazebo? Because I'd actually want to do it in the gazebo, not in the chapel. And so they contacted obviously the hotel and be like, hey, is that? And they confirmed that yes, if you get the,
so you have
chapel,
to book out both.
You get both, like kind of like I had to book out both, like kind of thing. Like it's like you get the gazebo and like you get that area, that one area, you know. I can't remember how much it was, but it was a bit expensive.
How long did you book it for?
An hour. So
we were there for not that long.
Yeah, I know, but like sure, like I booked it for an hour, like because that's you do a slot, like
yeah.
So I booked it for an hour, you know, because obviously they also had to prep it and then obviously like you know whatever as well as all that stuff. So I booked it for an hour and like I was like, okay, I want this, and then we're like, okay, what can we do to like, because obviously we probably can't do as much of the rose petals as we wanted, you know, because now it's outside. Signs, they were like, because like in the pirate ship they had like this kind of normal sign, not like the fancy pretty sign that you have. It was like these kind of signs on like a board kind of thing, you know.
Right.
You know, because it was like on a ship, and I was like, I don't really want that. But Vicky's so great. She was like, I think Nicola would love an acrylic sign. And I was like, yes, she probably would, you know. And so they tried to see if they could get the acrylic sign, and they got like the nice, you know, like the whole thing was on and the flowers, and I was like, yeah, that would be great. And then they showed me the designs of like, what do you want? And I was like, oh yeah, like happy 10-year anniversary, here's to a new chapter.
So you came up with that?
I came up with
the text.
I was like, yeah.
I didn't think you did. I didn't think you did.
I wrote it.
I know, but you surprised me with so many different things. Like even when you're describing it, like, oh, you wanted like flowers and stuff. I'm like, that sounds like a girl, like, you came up with all these ideas. Even though I told you a lot of it, like, I was like, oh, I just want something fancy. I want balloons. I want da. And
yeah, because Nicola wanted balloons, and I was like, balloons will not be possible. I was like, you know,
I just didn't know what he had planned at all.
You know, because Nicola's like, why is balloons not possible? I was like,
yeah, I didn't get it.
She didn't get it because obviously, as you can see now, it would have been hard to do balloons, especially like with the rain, like in that place. I was like, balloons would not be possible, you know, because you know. And then I was just like, she's like, but why not? I was like, just it'll look good.
Be quiet, okay? Trust me.
Well, yeah, no, like obviously I got Vicky's help a lot. Like, you know, she was like, oh, these is nice, like whatever, like, you know. But then when it came for the message, that was 100% me. That was me saying, I was like, this is what I want to say. This is what I want to see on the sign, you know. And so, like, we kind of got that. They let me know that everything was going to go. And then we then created the itinerary. Like they created the itinerary for me of like, okay, they're like at 12:45 you're gonna let you know, everyone know like where you're at and come and whatever and so on and so forth. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And then it's like at 1 p.m. you arrive, you get there, you do the proposing, and then you do the whole thing. Like, you know, it was literally Excel sheet time stamped. I was like, perfect, okay. You know, and obviously the whole conundrum on the day of the rain, and you know yourself, and whatever. But yeah, I know, like, there was a lot of time gone into planning. Like, obviously a lot of waiting, like, for responses and stuff because they were so busy.
Yeah.
But they were so good to consistently just get back to me, check up on me, be like, hey, here's the update that we've already been searching. This is everything. Giving me like a great set of like places to go to. That's why I cannot, like, definitely if you're like, obviously, like, I had an idea of what I wanted, so it was very easy for me. Yeah. And Vicky was great because she like was able to match like the energy and the aesthetic and everything, you know. So I was like, so it was just two people like brainstorming, doing right? Yeah. But obviously, if you're someone who like you're like, I don't know, whatever, like that, I actually would recommend them still because I feel like they would absolutely guide you to, like, even if you didn't know what to do, I'm sure they'd make sure it's really good, you know. Yeah. And obviously, I'm in Ireland. Like, how the hell was I going to plan a freaking proposal in Japan?
Yeah, obviously I had my doubts because I was like, oh, this is just so random. And also, I didn't know that you would go to planning route just because I'm like, that's expensive. Like, he's already taking me to Japan. Like, it's a funded, you know, trip here. Like, I didn't think that you would. And when you did, I was like, oh my God, he just went above and beyond, like, all expectations.
I did. I broke all expectations. You know so what we're saying. Well, yeah, no. So, like, it was great. It worked out well. It looked beautiful. We had a great time.
Yeah, and then to top it up, there was another surprise.
Yeah, she was ready for that.
When we got back to our...
Hold on. The first thing she said after, like, we were about to leave the garden, she's like, wait, let me take a photo of the flowers and the sign because I'm not going to get to see them again.
I'm like, oh, I'm just leaving this behind.
She's like, I'm
just
leaving them. She's like, I hate this. I want, like, so she took a photo of them and whatever, took her photos
on my phone,
on her phone. And I was just like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry. It's fine. Like, it is what it is, you know? Yeah. And then
we went back to our room and he's like recording me. I'm like, what? Like, what did you do? And I saw the sign and the roses in the room and I was like, what? Like, we weren't gone for that long. How did I get here so fast? Like, I was so shook.
Drove them back to the hotel for me and put them in our room.
That's what the girls were doing with the car.
Yeah, that's what the girls were doing with the car. Like, can you imagine? That's what you have to go with these people if you're trying to do something. Like, that's insane. They literally, while we were doing all the photos, they literally drove to the hotel, which is like a 20-minute drive, dropped the flowers off and the sign there, you know, and then came back, you know, like the man.
Oh, it was so beautiful. I was just so sad to let them go. I wanted to bring them home so bad, especially the sign, but it was quite big, you know.
Yeah, it's a really big sign.
And I was like, if this goes in the luggage, it's just gonna crack. And it was a little bit cracked on the side.
It wouldn't even fit in our luggage, you know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And then unfortunately, we were in Hakone, so there was no way. Like, it would have been really hard for us to get it from Hakone to Tokyo to then get it shipped without any issue happening in between. So I was like, yeah, we probably have to let the sign go.
Yeah, it was really sad to let it go, but I took so many photos of it just to have as memories, and it was just. You did so good.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job. You did so good. I don't know how you weren't more stressed than you were because there was a lot of things that could have gone wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like the biggest stressor for me was that rain. And then the moment it cleared up, I was like, yeah, everything's good. Everything's Gucci.
Life is good, man.
Life is good, man. Nothing can break it now, you know, because I was like, the moment the rain stopped, the moment I was about to propose, I was like, it's calm. This rain's not coming back. And it did not come back.
Yeah, it was super nice. I did towards the evening.
No, after we were already in our place. Yeah.
It was just such a beautiful experience. And then I'm glad that the way you had the days planned there, it was a lot more relaxed than the previous days because we spent so much time walking and running about like everywhere. So it was so nice to have 2 nights that we stayed there.
Yeah, exactly. She got to do the relaxing the day before the proposal, did a little bit of walking about in the rooms and then relax again, and then we left.
It was so chill. I got to stay in the onsen and bro, you did so good.
Thank you.
You did so good. Good job to you. So that was our proposal. I think this episode was more for us than anything.
Yeah,
and
to be honest,
our close friends and family because I want to look back at this and whenever he pisses me off or something, I think it'd be nice to.
Okay, there, Lon. And don't mind me looking like a bum. It's because we're about.
You got your new tee on. And
yeah, I said I represent. Like, I also have another Japan one, so I'm gonna wear that for the actual Japan episode. But yeah, I know we're just gonna represent, and I was like, cool, we'll do this. Because we're also going on holidays again next week, so I'm not getting my trim until next week. So even in the next episode, I'm probably gonna look like
that's
a bum.
Gonna be the Japan episode.
So yeah, even the Japan episode I'm gonna look like a bum, but that's
we'll
fine.
give you a headband. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't really care. You guys know me at this stage. I don't care how I show up to this, how I am, all natural.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. Even if, like, obviously our family and our friends are gonna enjoy it, but like everyone else, I hope you guys are happy for us and whatnot. I'm happy for us anyway, so I don't really give a shit if you're happy for us.
No, we're happy that we get to share some of our happiness with you guys, and thank you to everyone who's been so sweet and supportive and kind. We love you all so much. And yeah.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Peace.